All right. The time is 6:30 and a quorum being present, I call this meeting to order. First item on the agenda, we don't have any minutes, so we can go straight to A. This is a public hearing, request for determination of applicability for Jennifer Letourneau, Marston Street and Chapman Road, Assessors Map 18, Lot 92. Could you please introduce yourselves for the record, and then the floor is yours.
Hello, Chairman and members of the Conservation Commission. My name is Jen Letourneau. I'm representing the applicant today, which is the town of Tewksbury.
I'm Randy Burley, the DPW Engineering Department.
Awesome, thank you.
The matter before you tonight is a request for determination of applicability for a stormwater project that is happening in Tewksbury. I've included with the request for determination a brief narrative, which I will read to you now. On behalf of the town of Tewksbury, I prepare this request for determination of applicability. The proposed project will install new stormwater conveyance structures from Van Buren Road down Marston Street and replace existing culverts under Marston Street and Chapman Road. I did inspect the site on May 3rd, 2024 to delineate potential wetlands associated with this project. Photos from that visit have been attached to this submittal. During my visit, I was looking for the presence of 50% or more of vegetation to be wetland indicator plants, the presence of naturally occurring standing water, and the presence of hydric soils. I focused my attention on the intersection of Marston Street and Chapman Road. The work zone associated with Van Buren Road consists of hardscape only. I determined that the area is not a bordering vegetated wetland at this location. This area conveys water through an open channel and has some hydric soils, but does not support 50% or greater of wetland indicator plants. I've also included a site locus where I've depicted photos and then attached those photos. I wanted to make sure I called your attention to those, as well as doing the level of due diligence to make sure I checked to make sure that this is in fact not in a floodplain according to the FEMA ferment, which it is not. And I also checked to make sure that there were no species or plants in this particular area that were significant, and that neither of those are in this case either. So I'm requesting that you vote for a negative determination of applicability for this project.
All right, so I guess to sum that up, you're basically replacing pipes that go across the road.
And a couple new catch basins. But yes.
It seems pretty straightforward to me. Does the commission have any questions or comments?
So the project says it's an extension of the drain system, but I don't see any existing drainage infrastructure on the plan set. What are you extending, I guess, or is this all brand new?
So the extension that starts back up in Van Buren, that's where the puddle, that's where the issue is. There's a puddle right at the beginning of Van Buren. It doesn't go anyplace, doesn't drain, it doesn't have any place to go. So we're proposing a couple of catch basins there to pick that up. And then it comes down.
Can I approach and show you? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I see where all the lines are drawn. There's just,
No.
There's no existing system drawn on the plan set.
Okay. So this is existing and this is existing and will be replaced. There is also an existing line down here. So if you're looking.
So the existing line on Mars.
Yep. That's new. This is replace existing leach and catch basin, so it's replacement.
Yep.
This one's new.
Yeah, the whole system looks new. That's what I'm asking about.
There is some existing, which is now going to have a conveyance system associated with it.
So what's the leach and catch basin? Because the leach and catch basin isn't connected to anything, right?
Correct.
So it's a brand new system going to the wetlands.
The leaching catch basin is there, but it doesn't work.
It doesn't connect to anything right now. Yeah, so it's an isolated stormwater BMP.
Yes.
So this is a whole entire brand new system.
Right. Instead of it just being overland flow down to this
Correct.
location, it's now going to have a conveyance system associated with that so that it's no longer going to pond in this entire line. All of the stormwater was going down in the same location, same amount of stormwater, but now it's going to have a conveyance system through it instead of it just going overland.
So the real intent of this project is to pick up the 2 CBs on Van Buren.
Yes. Replacing the culverts.
And replacing these two
Replacing
culverts.
That are corroded and falling apart.
Okay, and what's the purpose of the test pit on Van Buren that says to locate the sanitary service for installation of new storm drain?
That's to make sure they don't hit it accidentally. They do the test pits when they're doing the installation of the replacement.
So the test pit isn't in line with the drain pipe?
Before we go on, can I just ask you to
Oh,
go
sorry.
back so
Yeah.
we can pick up everything?
Oh, sorry. Microphones.
Yeah.
So the test pit isn't in line, so you're not connecting the sanitary service, correct? And the test pit's just to identify that one sanitary service?
There's a few different test pits that are proposed. If you can see it.
The only one I see on the
All
plan.
of those are
there's the
denoted
one
on the
there.
plans in order to identify utilities so you don't hit them in the
Right.
process of
Yep.
doing the excavations.
So wouldn't you want the test pit where the drain line's going?
No, so most of the times in engineering work, you're doing that in order to identify the exact location where you think something is.
Yep.
So then you can say, okay, it is exactly here, I've got eyes on it, I know the size, I know the depth below the ground surface. So it's usually a very small excavation in order to just go down,
Yeah, you're
identify it, and then
hydro-excavating the
backfill.
test pit, yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. Okay, so all the stormwater is going to existing Howard Falls except for 2 new CBs on Van Buren. That's essentially the project.
Yes.
Okay. Understood.
All right, any additional questions or comments from
I'm
the
concerned
commission?
about the rock garden.
The rock garden, you just don't like it, or?
It will be replaced.
We gotta do a red maple sapling though.
Yes.
Beautiful.
So you're asking for a negative determination?
That's correct.
If there is no further, this is a public hearing. If there's anybody in the public who would like to get up and make a comment, now is the time to do so. Not seeing anybody rise. Could I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. And could I have a negative determination of applicability as discussed at this meeting?
Is there special conditions for this?
Oh, yes, I will read those out before we continue. Proposed special conditions may include: the applicant shall install and maintain perimeter controls around the area of work to prevent the deposition of debris into nearby resource areas. Perimeter controls shall remain in place until all areas of erodible materials have been stabilized at the site. These controls shall act as a limit of work. No equipment can be stored or work be done past that point. Prior to any construction activity commencing, the following must be completed. ESCs shall be installed by the applicant or an agent of the applicant, and the conservation agent shall inspect and approve of the installed ESCs. And finally, the applicant shall ensure that all soil has been stabilized prior to removal of the ESCs. Are you comfortable with that? Perfect. All right. Now, could I have a motion for a negative determination of applicability as discussed at this meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, Abigail.
All right. Agenda item B is public hearing request for determination of applicability. Joseph McConaughey, 49 Long Meadow Drive, Assessors Map 26, Lot 124. The applicant does not seem to be here, but as discussed at the last meeting, it was for installing a fence, and we were basically asking for
For a map.
clearer depictions of where the fence is going to be. Abigail, I might ask you to fill in some details because there's a new picture on there. It's just hand-drawn, basically. There's 2 new pictures depicting where the fence is going to go. It's not super accurate or anything, but at least it gives us something. And there's another image that shows the actual fence plans and with dimensions. So I guess it seems, it's a fence, it seems pretty standard. It's going to come off the sides of the house with one type of material. Like the general plan is to have a white fence, white plastic fence on the sides, and then a chain link fence in the back.
That was my understanding. I
Yeah,
don't-
it seems pretty standard for a fence. But it's, he agreed not to go into the 25-foot No, the 25-foot buffer zone, right?
When I went out and met with him, it was my understanding that he was not considering going into the 25-foot buffer zone.
All right, well, I think
That
we
the-
can
Well, that's
make that a
gonna be right on our-
condition of
Absolutely.
that it will not go
And through
into.
your photo log, I mean, we are clearly marked out there.
Yes, yeah, there are those signs from the original build that mark the 25-foot buffer, and it's his plan when I met with him to not go past those signs.
I mean, I'm good with it. I just don't, I want that a condition
Yeah, that will
without a doubt.
be a condition on this. Any discussion from the commission?
I was just concerned about the fence being outside the retaining wall, like if that's a safety hazard, but Abigail says it's only like a 4-foot retaining wall.
I would say it's not even, and when you're coming up from the house, you'd have to climb up the retaining wall to get to the fence. So the retaining wall
Like,
goes.
I'm just concerned about someone running across the yard and, falling. But I guess that's not the way it's set up, so it shouldn't be a problem.
This is the as-built, so the retaining wall is there. So,
Correct, yeah.
all right, this is a public hearing. If there's anybody in the public who would like to get up and make a comment, now's the time to do so, but not seeing anybody rise, could I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. And could I have a motion for a negative determination of applicability as discussed at this meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Do we have any administrator reports?
I do have an administrator report.
We're
that-
so close.
I know, I'm sorry.
Wait a second, wait, do we get to vote on this?
I don't know that it requires your vote. That will be up to you. So I received an email today from Andrew Stack, the town engineer, that, let me read it so I have accurate information, that there is the North Middlesex Stormwater Collaborative, a regional stormwater group organized through NIMCOG, which includes the town of Tewksbury. They're seeking letters of support for an MVP grant application for Phase 2 of a watershed study. So I have the letter here, a proposed letter. It's just a to be just not even signature, but just says from the chairman or the commission. I just wanted to, get your all your takes on it, to make sure that I'm not sending out letters with your names on it without your permission.
Do we have the letter? I'm not,
Yes, I have it here. I just got it this afternoon.
all right.
And I'd be happy to send it to you before your approval, but it just basically says that you're in support of.
Yeah, it's a pretty good project. It focuses on the hydrology of the Merrimack and Concord rivers, all the NEMCOG communities. They're doing a hydrology study, so.
Yeah,
So they wrote the letter and just sent it to you to,
Yeah, it's a grant, it's
Yeah.
hopefully grant funded too, so it's no cost to any of the towns that are participating in it.
sounds very good if that's the case.
Sold.
Yeah.
Right. That was easy.
All right, if there's no further discussion, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well.